Alright, so try this again. This is a movie review of Pumping Iron. Um, I've seen this movie quite a few times, as I guess most people who have seen it tend to watch it multiple times. Um, it's a documentary set in for the '76 Olympia. No, yeah, '76. Okay, I was reading the back. It says in '77 documentary shown, but I guess it came out in '77. Pumping Iron is about bodybuilding. Um, Arnold Schwarzenegger is the main star, but it also has Lou Ferrigno, and also became quite popular. And his training partner Franco Colombo, and some other lesser known guys. I guess became popular through this movie. Um, and yeah, it's about Arnold Schwarzenegger. Well, I guess he's the main star, and him preparing for the 1976 Olympia for his sixth Olympia title. And he eventually comes back in 1988 and wins seven. But this is a yeah, great movie if you like it. If you're into bodybuilding and stuff, and bodybuilding is kind of a fringe sport. It's weird. It's like kind of mass popular and a fringe sport at the same time. I guess the thing making it more of a fringe sport is drug use and open drug use um, with the makes it less mainstream. Um, but all the other sports that lift weights kind of look up to bodybuilding. Um, they'll learn something from bodybuilding. The main thing about bodybuilding is knowing all the muscles and how to train them, and then proper nutrition and things like that. What foods do what, and yeah, how they work, how they react in your body, and all that. How they build muscle, burn fat, whatever. Nutritional properties. Nutrition is quite a expansive subject, and you can learn a decent bit through bodybuilding. But this was in '76, and we're in towards the end of 2019 now. So bodybuilding's come a long ways. Physiques have changed quite a bit. Um, Still has quite a peak on the bicep. Um, it's mostly a genetic thing, but nowadays they have a split peak on the bicep, where there's like a split in there. I guess you can possibly see little bits of it for me, but yeah, they get I guess more cut down on competition day and stuff like that. Training is different, new drugs and stuff like that, so the physiques are a lot different. Um, but one thing different about these physiques, a lot of people like this style of physique better. I guess it looks more natural, more attainable, more practical in a lot of ways than modern physiques. Um, but also, um, the quality of the muscle looks different too. A big thing about these guys is they're kind of a watery type quality in the muscle. And you can see Arnold when he flexes his pecs and stuff, kind of like a watery nature to it that you don't really see nowadays more. They have, I guess, the grainy look, and you can't really see them flex their pecs like that. Part of it could be drug use, but also he trained with a full range of motion with his exercises. Um, I train with full range of motion too, but I have long arms, so I do a lot of choppy movements. But I uh, do a lot of those chops in the stretch position in the hole. Um, but you can see very noteworthy when he does the flies. Like he goes very far out and um, and then comes all the way back. Whereas a lot of people cut their flies short and stuff like that. Um, and yeah, so a lot of that is full range of motion training, and then less machines in this. And so the machines can be really good for toning and stuff like that, but it's more like the icing on the cake, whereas the real foundation is basic barbell and dumbbell movements, I guess most people would say. And that's how it seems to work out, unless you're like a total genetic freak like Phil Heath. Well, I guess has his problems now with his physique, but most bodybuilders build it through the basic exercises, and machine movements are more of a refining type movement. But they use both. Um, so just trying to think. I'm 5 minutes already. Talked about I guess most of what I wanted to talk about, but yeah, Arnold's an interesting guy. Um, so he has the 7 Olympias, and there's 2 Olympia guys, Lee Haney and Ronnie Coleman, who have 8. But Arnold has the 7, um, but he also has other avenues. But I guess he caught on earlier to where this sport was still a little more primitive, to where I guess he would say it's still hard to get, but it was easier to get, less competitive than it is nowadays. So he was able to devote himself and use bodybuilding as a vehicle to acting, and then politics, and then I guess cut short on politics because he wasn't born in the U.S. He wanted to be president really bad. I saw, I guess a few years ago, he tried to do an amendment to where the president can be foreign born and serve unlimited terms. So it's like he's trying to pull quite the fast one. And Arnold's a pretty funny guy. Um, but great actor. But I'm not sure how trustworthy he is or whatever. But had some really great movies. I really enjoyed his movies growing up. Um, he's had quite a few, but which ones did I like? Well, The Terminators, Predator. I like the movie Twins a lot. Still like that one too. Um, watched Kindergarten Cop. This was very small. Watching these, and I guess those were the main ones. But I did a bunch of other movies, quite a few. I didn't start. Still not that familiar with Conan. I've seen like just bits and pieces of the Conan movies, but what got him into acting was his physique, which he got from bodybuilding. Um, and then Lou Ferrigno also got into acting as well. But for his acting, his first role, they told him, which he got before he won this Olympia, they told him he was just too big and he had to lose 20 pounds. Um, so the physiques nowadays are, I guess, so freakish and so odd and kind of unpractical in a way that it's hard to even put that on film. Like, where do you throw that in a movie? You know, like, how do you throw that in the storyline? You know, only for like comic book superhero movies, and even those guys don't look as freakish as bodybuilders. So I guess it's the sport's so out there that it's hard to put that in a regular movie. um, yeah, which was brought me to when they talk about bodybuilding and they talk about dangerous sports and I guess would you say warrior spirit and the warrior nature of bodybuilding. Um, yeah, these guys are real pioneers in a way. It's so terrifying just to think about putting that much mass on your body and taking all those drugs and stuff like that. Um, to win the sport or whatever, but it's really quite a dangerous sport. A lot of people die. Um, you know, some people, real steroid advocates, say steroids aren't dangerous or whatever, but bodybuilding has a lot of deaths in it. It's very, very dangerous, very frightening thinking about putting that much mass on your body um, and doing those type of activities. Um, that's that. And even Arnold has heart problems nowadays, which you could say it's kind of hard to tell. It could be either genetic or it could be drug related as well. But it's kind of hard to say um, what causes his heart problems now. But yeah, that's that. Here it shows him doing those concentration curls, and yeah, I remember that. I saw Frank Zane the other day talking about that, where they stretch in between sets to get a better pump. You can see him doing the concentration curl, and then like shaking it out and looking at it, and then um, going out another set. And that's when he was talking about the pump and everything. Um, so there's a lot of interesting stuff in his interviews. I guess you should see it for yourself if you've already seen it. You'd know, but yeah, it's very interesting interviews. I guess I don't want to give the stuff away too much. I'll try not to. And also, I did the last movie review on this movie Choke, and I wanted to say also about the weightlifting with Hickson Gracie and Choke. They said he didn't do any like real fancy movements or anything like that, any fancy techniques, but what he did the basics, and he did them better than anybody. So that's kind of what it's like with bodybuilding in a lot of ways, doing the basics and doing them, just doing them better. Although how much you lift doesn't really matter in bodybuilding. It matters for muscle growth, but it doesn't matter. Nobody's counting how much you lift, so it's more how you lift it and stuff like that, and mastering the basics. So yeah, I guess I just want to throw that in. It's more of an old school training, which all the pros would agree. It's like the best to do the basic movements and stuff like that. But I guess they just get lazy, or you get so huge that the machines seem more practical and convenient, and even less dangerous once you get that massive and strong in a way. Just getting more coordinated and things like that. I noticed Jay Cutler pulled his bicep doing they kick up the dumbbells to do shoulder press or incline dumbbell press. They put it on their knee and then kick it up. I always did a double clean, which seemed to be safer and better. But yeah, he pulled his bicep because he was just doing so much weight. So moving around the dumbbells and barbells and stuff can get more dangerous. But yeah, that's that. And also, if you've seen this, you should read the Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding, which it's very good. Teach you how to lift weights and stuff like that. But also, I guess you would say it's more that primitive style, which is what you want to start with anyway. Start with the basics, and then I guess as you get older, and then you're good at the basics and everything, you can start training like The Rock on all those fancy machines and stuff. But yeah, that's that. Pump it on. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.